The country's combined value of imported green and roasted coffee beans reached $1.11 billion in 2023, which represents a 1.7-fold increase from 5 years ago.
생두와 원두를 합한 지난해 우리나라 커피 수입액이 11억 1000만 달러에 달해 5년 전보다 1.7배 증가한 것으로 나타났습니다. Koreans' love for coffee is quite famous, isn't it?
Yes, and if you look on any busy street, I mean, it's no surprise to see there's coffee shop after coffee shop after coffee shop. So yes, coffee is still big, and the consumption of coffee and the import of coffee is still growing. What's interesting, in 2022 was the first time that the value of the imported coffee into Korea topped $1 billion. And it's gone up and up from there. This is the second consecutive year that we've passed that mark. It's something like 193,000 tons of coffee that we've imported. And that's up 22% from, say, back in 2018. So again, we're seeing long increases. Where's our coffee coming from? Well, a quarter of it is coming from Brazil. Something like 50,000 tons that are worth $200 million. Number two for coffee drinkers was Vietnamese coffee, then Colombian, Ethiopian, and Guatemalan.
Do you have a favorite?
Instant. I can't be bothered making proper coffee, so I'm too impatient.
I don't know the difference between Brazilian and Colombian coffee, I'm ashamed to say, but I think I know I can taste Vietnamese coffee. It's slightly different.
Okay, I can recognize the difference between, say, nutty and savory and then sour. And I'm not a fan of sour coffee. I like the savory, nutty coffee.
All right. Then let's have a look at the expressions with that in mind. The first one is combined value.
Yes, so we're talking about two things here. We're talking about green coffee, which is unroasted coffee, and roasted coffee. So two things, when we combine how much they're worth, when we put them together, we get that total value. So a combined value is when we take either two or more values, or however much something is worth, and put them together to make one total.
That's right. combined는 합쳐진 이란 뜻이고요. value가 가치죠. 그러니까 combined value of imported coffee beans. 수입한 커피 원두와 생두 여기 지금 합치고 있는 건데요. 그것을 합쳤을 때 그 액수가 11억 1000만 달러에 달한다. The combined value reached $1.11 billion. 자, 그다음에 roasted coffee beans.
One of the most beautiful words in the English language is roast.
Roast chicken.
Roast potatoes,
Roast
beef,
lamb,
roast pork, roast carrots.
Oh.
Yes, if you've ever spent some time in the UK, you're familiar with the word roast and roasted. It just means basically that something is cooked in a very strong heat or it's cooked in an oven. So beans are not necessarily cooked in an oven, but they are cooked at a very high temperature. And that means there's no liquid put on, they're not boiled or steamed, they're just being cooked by the heat itself.
구웠다는 뜻이 있거든요. 그래서 통닭구이, roast chicken.
Yeah.
그다음에 소고기 구이, roast beef.
네.
뭐 이제 서양은 roast lamb도 있고 roast pork도 있을 수 있고 다 있죠. 네, roasted coffee beans는 이제 볶은 커피 원두 볶은 커피 콩을 얘기를 합니다. Right, here's the headline again. The country's combined value of imported green and roasted coffee beans reached $1.11 billion in 2023, which represents a 1.7-fold increase from 5 years ago.